Welcome to the Libertarian Alternative. Today's guest is Mark Selzer, and he'll be talking about the war and reasons against the war, too. I'm Angela Keaton, and I'm with Libertarian National Committee.
Hi, Angela. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah. Well, no, you're actually
usually the interviewer of the show.
Usually the interviewer, but you're also one of the most dedicated inspirational anti-war activists around in California.
Yes, that's been my reputation, although I'm generally a libertarian, but I think that libertarians are opposed to big government, and I think that war is, well, we're opposed to big government, coercive government, government doing violence against people, and I think that in war you have probably the worst example of government, and the biggest government, and the most expensive government, and government where that really challenges so many of the things that libertarians agree with. For instance, war challenges the idea of property. War challenges the idea that your body and your life belong to you. Okay, because of the draft, because of war challenges the idea that the individual is valuable, indispensable, and unique. It challenges the idea of individualism. And it does so, these are all things that are very, very important to libertarians, that each individual is a valuable resource, each individual is special, that each individual is, that the individuality and what makes a person different and unique are the most important things about that person, and that is something that society should give the utmost respect to. But in war firstly takes away your right to property, because it says you have to pay for the war, and the wars now are incredibly more expensive to fight than they were before. War takes away, so the government says, we're going to protect you because there's danger. Whether everyone agrees there's real danger or not is a big question in the Iraq war and the so-called war against terrorism. And the government is confiscating huge amounts of the public funds to pay for this war. So war is definitely challenging the idea of your earnings. It's challenging the concept that we feel that what we earn belongs to us. And it challenges individuality, and that it is asking us to look at other people as groups, telling us to look at other people as the Iraqis, the Muslims, the terrorists. They're against us, and we have to defend ourselves against them because they're all against us. When the radical Islam is a very tiny part of the Muslim movement, and it also takes us, a number of Americans, and it puts them into harm's way. You know, you're a soldier, and this isn't something that really it gives a lot of respect to the individual, being in the army, militarizing the culture, glorifying the military. I think that these people deserve a lot of credit for what they're doing. They're going over there and they believe what they're doing is helpful. They believe they're protecting America. Our job back here is not to attack them, but to debate the policies that put them there. Okay? But, and also libertarians disagree with the idea that government can fix things. Okay? Now this is an idea that used to come from the right wing, that used to come from the Republicans, but the Republicans have their idea, the right wing or the conservatives or the Republicans have their idea of where they think government works, and the Democrats have their idea where they think government works. And very much war says that government works. It can fix things. Even if we look at the history of government in this country, we don't see that it's had very many successes. We do not see that poverty has been eliminated. We don't see that everyone has affordable health care. we don't see crime being brought to a standstill. We can't get rid of the terrorist gangs that are terrorizing our large cities, the drug gangs, the street gangs. Now we're being told we're going to go overseas and get rid of other terrorist gangs overseas. When I drive through Watts or any inner city slum, I see that even though for 40 years we spent billions of dollars to try to eliminate poverty, it's still a slum.
You say we, though. What you really mean is the government.
Well, the government, and in a sense, you know, we the people, okay, because we have voted in the government, and we voted in the government in this belief that government can fix things. We have this faith. If a politician gets up and says, oh, I'm going to end poverty, you know, I laugh, okay? Libertarians say, right, like, you've done such a good job, you know? But government has not succeeded in bringing about an end to poverty or pretty much any of the things that it's set out to do.
I do see government as a reification. You once told me that you said government is an illusion. An illusion of what? Government
is an illusion of control, and it's a fantasy. It's the same thing that I was talking about there, the faith in government. When we kind of have this mindset in the United States that no matter what a politician says they're going to do, I am going to eliminate crime by making guns illegal. Somehow, people believe that if you did make guns illegal, somehow the guns wouldn't be out there. But the guns are illegal, and you can buy them on the street corner, behind the 7-Eleven. No matter how illegal they are, you can still buy them somewhere. And no matter what kind of proposal is brought forward, I'm going to make democracy in Iraq. No one in America said, you know, laughed him out of office, but yet the idea that government is going to go out into the world and change the culture of another country and turn it into democracy, the idea that that's impossible entered the minds of very few Americans.
Well, you've used the word faith several times, and you've almost described it with evangelical fervor that we go forth and try to change the world.
Right.
So there's an element of religiosity there. You attended a public high school.
Yes.
You had a civics class at some point.
Yes.
Okay. Think about that civics class for a moment and tell me a little bit about what you were taught.
Right. Well, you know, very much in America, we do have an educational system that teaches us history in a certain way. You know, if you're going to a government school, you're going to have a history book that says government's wonderful. If you're going to a Catholic school, you're going to have a history book that says the Catholic Church is wonderful and points to all the wonderful things that the Catholic Church has done to influence society or a better society. And maybe that's true. But when I went to my government high school, we had a history book and it said, first there was this problem. Then the government did this and it solved the problem. Then there was another problem. And then the government did this and then that solved the problem. And since then we've been arguing about, and the left and the right, or the Republicans and Democrats have been arguing over what's the best way for the government to fix all of our problems and whose set of ideals are going to best fix our problems. And that's a problem in that a lot of people believe that, and we do seem to have faith. And when I say faith, it is religious. It is a religious faith. When people say, you know, the story is, of course, when you ask a priest, how am I supposed to believe these fantastical things that it says in the Bible that miracles can happen when this doesn't fit into my everyday reality? And you are told you're to have faith, okay? That is called faith. And that can be a beautiful thing in religion. It can be. It can be a positive thing for people. But I think in looking at government, it's not good to have faith. We, as the American people, are the consumers of government, okay? And our government is very, very